Welcome to the CoinOp Cowboys, the podcast where four guys explore the absurdities of everyday life, sharing our entertaining experience and insights on a variety of topics. Hello, CoinOp-ians. This week, Steven shares his third and final part of his expose in mobile gaming with this segment, Grand Mafia Part 3, Game Over. He discusses ending the addiction to his game and betraying the trans people he hoodwinked during his tenure as guild officer. But how many thousands did he spend, and does this make him a real piece of shit? We'll find out, but first, Ryan discusses a real-life experience he had in Nolans, where he ran into the legendary creature called the Rugaru. But we all want to know, did Ryan have a one-night stand with the elusive Nightbird? Stay tuned. Feel free to drop us a line. We love hearing what's on your mind. Our email address is coinopcowboyspod@gmail.com. That is the coinopcowboyspod@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, follow, and rate us. You can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple and Google Podcasts, and YouTube, anywhere you find your favorite entertainment. We release a new episode every week, so take a listen to past episodes and get all caught up because you deserve it. Now, I'm switching over to the main stage. Steven joined. It looks like he joined the Brotherhood. Or he's shooting for the Grand Wizard, Dragon, whatever it is. At least that's what his haircut suggests, you know. Ryan had technical difficulties with his computer, which is on par with the old man that he is. And Chris is also having technical difficulties with his audio. So a bunch of issues going on. Let's join into the discussion and see if any of them have figured out a solution.
Do that. It's like, I don't like it.
Oh,
like, well,
dang.
Too late. They'll grow back.
Stop, Dad, stop.
Yeah, you got a wild haircut. It's kind of scared me. Why'd you do it? Why'd you
I love shaving
short?
my head. It's one of my favorite things to do. I can do like scalp treatments and stuff whilst shaved head, but I also just like the low maintenance. If it wasn't for vanity, I would just keep it shaved all the time.
Well, it looks like shit, Steven.
Oh my god. Turn your gain down.
Yeah.
So
I did.
You went the wrong way.
I think you went the wrong way. Yeah.
Ryan, it looks good. Tell me it looks good.
No, you're not invited to my
What the
birthday
fuck?
anymore.
Oh my god.
Dude, he don't allow ugly people
Bro.
at birthdays, man. Just gotta keep
Sorry, I don't
appearance.
look like a piece of shit like you.
Listeners, Steven looks like a skinhead.
If you can't slick back your hair, you're not allowed to my birthday party.
I'll wear a wig just for your birthday. That'll be fucking great.
Only real hair.
Every time you say slick back your hair, you never do it, so I'm not even gonna get excited.
Oh my god.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I slick back my hair way better than you ever
I did
did.
the full slick back.
Ryan, your mic still sounds terrible.
Yeah. Ryan, lower your gain.
It's all the way low.
No, it's not.
No, it's all the way high. That's volume, young man?
You can lower in your...
No.
Wow. I remember my first time. Have you tried the back? It might be right next to
Oh
that
my
power
God, yes.
button you were looking for.
Is that better?
Oh, so much better.
Oh, gosh. It's magical.
Steven, I need you to come help fix my PC, please.
Have you inspected the on button?
Well, the power button was always finicky on it. I'd always rub the button with a pen, and it would turn on.
Jesus.
And I guess now it just doesn't want to turn on. So something's wrong with the power button.
Ryan, why do you have shitty PCs?
Yeah. Why?
I'll leave again.
Is that an American flag shirt he's wearing? America.
Any significance to the "Let's fucking go" sign in the back of your podcast? Is that for Brett?
It is for Brett. It's because he made a comment that my my bed was messy that one day. He was like, dude, clean up your background. So I cleaned it up, and then I put a little tidbit letting him know that I cleaned it up.
All right. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you, Ryan, for making the extra effort to hop on. I'm sorry you're experiencing technical difficulties, and, we got to thank Alicia for lending you her laptop.
Do better.
Ryan, look how hard I look right now, bro. You
look like a white supremacist that doesn't tattoo their nipples.
I'll fit right into your birthday party. Actually, now.
I like how you shaved all that hair on your head, but you failed to get that stuff under your nose off.
Yeah, well, you can't just go full shaved head with no facial hair. Then you just look like a mole rat.
Wait, so is that beard hair that you have? Is that the longest hair on your head right now? Looks longer than your eyelashes.
Eyebrows might be pretty long, kind of thick boys. My eyelashes are pretty long too, but yeah. Got the Kevin.
No, you can always shave your hair, but you can't shave the piece of shit that you are.
I used to be a piece of shit. Not anymore.
Do you know I finally watched that sloppy steaks bit because I had no idea what you guys were talking
Did you
about.
enjoy it?
And then when it was all
You're
done,
like, what the fuck?
yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm like, wait, so he would just go to a restaurant and he would just pour water on his steaks and the restaurant owner would get mad?
Sloppy steaks, baby.
Yeah, his
That guy's a real piece of shit.
yeah, his humor is just like, it's just so, I don't know. It doesn't hit for everybody, but for some reason it just makes me fucking die. It's like those
Nice.
what are those invasive thoughts they talk about? They like, oh, his invasive thoughts one, and like just all of his shit's just coming out in that show. Anyways.
Nice.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of the CoinOp Cowboys. Gentlemen, wonderful to see all of you. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with our question for the day. And this is where you get the opportunity to introduce yourself, say your name, say a hello, and then you're going to answer the question. The question I have for you tonight is very important, very special, very unique.
Not.
And you guys are going to go in order. And it's the most perfect order I've ever seen. This is the most perfect order. Well, the question is, consider that every person now has a personal soundtrack that plays according to their mood. What would be playing for you right now?
Repeat the question. Country of origin.
Again, consider that every person now has a personal soundtrack that plays according to their mood. What would be playing for you right now? And the first person on this list, to my right, is Chris.
It's always Chris.
Oh.
It's always Chris.
He logs on first. What can I say?
I'm pretty sure Angel has a boner for Chris.
Yikes.
What up, Wranglers? Got your boy here, Chris. I am the first cowboy. I am the first and most beloved cowboy. I am the first that people want to hear when they roll in. They want to hear this magical voice of mine, and I'm just glad I can be at the front of the line for everybody. Welcome. You guys are in for a great evening. Personal soundtrack. You know, it's really hard to put this one in words, but it is actually the John Cena intro music. It goes dun 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 dun. I'll have to play it for you guys, but yeah. So it is just every time I walk, like when I walk into the kitchen, I just expect like confetti and horns to start going buck wild, and then like my kids are going, "What's going on, Dad?" And I'm like, "We're going. You can't see me."
Everybody else sees Chris, and it goes.
Yeah.
Angel,
What?
where'd Chris go?
What? Oh God. Yeah, I don't see him either, man. He just started singing and he's gone. Yeah. Maybe he'll come back.
But did you guys see the prank phone call where they called the guy's wife and then they kept trying to sell them the wrestling subscription?
Yes, I fucking love that one so much, dude.
That it puts me in tears. That was just such a good prank call.
So Chris is walking around with John Cena's da, 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 all day long in his head. Okay,
God, yeah.
That's right.
Such a basic thing.
basic bitch.
All right. Thank you, Chris, so much for your inspiring music. Next up, we have Steven.
All right.
Of course I'm last. Why the fuck would I be last? Fucking bullshit.
Hello, everybody. If you don't know me by now, that's your fucking problem, not mine. I am part of the CoinOp Cowboys. The best part, actually. Many of our reviewers have said everybody else sucks except for Steven. Yeah, with that being said, I got a new haircut. Shaved it all off, man. I'm feeling moody, feeling edgy. And I'm going to throw it back to the 90s. My personal soundtrack right now is none other than the Deftones, specifically that song Change. Go listen to it if you haven't, but that's just going on in my head all day. Angel, I assume you're going to play all these songs, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I have no copyright. I'm not going to buy the copyright.
Great. So the song is just like some metally 90s filth.
Sing it
That's
for us,
just-
Steven.
It's not a song you sing, Chris. It's a mood.
The song.
It's an
I
emotional
go in
vehicle.
between wanting. I go in between wanting to like, kill somebody and also want to fuck to the song. So I think it's a very inspiring song.
Very edgy.
Right.
Solid. But does it get as edgy as this?
Where'd he go?
That was
All right.
it. Can't see me.
Thank you so much, Steven, for your edgy, it's the Deftones Change. All right. Next
What was
up.
it called? Edgy?
Deftones song specifically is Change.
Yes.
That's my go-to.
All right. The next person on this list, in this perfect order, and it is perfect, by the way. We have the one.
Still hear you though, donkey dick.
Yeah. Next up is Ryan. Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna lose my shit. Fuck!
What did you?
I spilled soda.
What did you tell him to make him quit like that?
Whenever you, apparently it's when he's restarting.
Oh, was that? Is that what it is?
If you're gonna buy a PC, buy a good PC.
I was listening to this Change by the Deftones here a second ago, and it was pretty good. It started out real introly, and then it talked about like violence and taking it out.
It's just like, yeah, it's a good, I don't know. It's a really popular song.
It's the first thing that pops up.
It's very 90s metal, and I love that.
You know, I really enjoyed a lot of those. There was a lot of those bands in the 90s that were, I'm not sure if I can label this guy as screamo, but the concept of like, when he does the chorus, he like kind of stretches the words a little bit, you know, like 30 Seconds to Mars did it. I'm listening to this song right here, and it's kind of right there.
Stop playing music, Chris. You broke my internet.
Next up in line is the one, the only Ryan. Ryan, what do you have?
What up, Cowboys? This is number one panty drop a shot caller, your favorite boy, Ryan. And I've heard from listeners that I am the best part of the podcast from many. And I come to us this week with another listener comment that we can get on later. But for now, Angel is asking what my soundtrack is. My song would be My Love by Justin Timberlake.
Gay.
Sing it for us, Ryan.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Nope. That's for Alicia only.
Justin, so you're feeling...
Only one pair of ears gets to hear me.
What was the song again? Because I wasn't paying attention after you spewed your nonsense about being the favorite. I stopped listening.
What was the song?
My Love by Justin Timberlake.
I was totally expecting some Bon Jovi because for all the listeners out there, Ryan is a phenomenal...
Damn!
Yeah, he's a phenomenal... oh gosh, what are we calling that thing? You go to the bar and you sing... Karaoke, there we go. He's a phenomenal karaoke singer. Why am I spacing on that word? First, I can't pronounce the word. Now I just can't even think of the word. So, but yeah, Bon Jovi. Ryan crushes it.
I'm also very good at Enrique. Some would say I'm better than the real Enrique Iglesias.
Almost everybody would say now.
Excuse me? Have you not seen the viral videos?
That's what I'm saying, is everybody would say you're better now because Enrique got exposed in the worst way.
Did you see him humping the stage?
No, I didn't. I couldn't watch past the first like 2 seconds. It was so cringe. I was dying. But I heard for a long time he was horrible at singing. Like that was like the rumor.
This is like a whole nother level of terrible. It's like, how did you ever even like get a record deal in any way, shape, or form?
Hey, Ryan.
I guess it just proves you need zero talent.
Connections. His family was connected. You don't need much talent, but they can produce you.
What about that Havana Unana?
That's a good one. That's a one-off, though. I don't do a lot of Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello is a good singer. Like, that's not a question.
Yeah, very good. Sorry about that. Ryan, yours was Justin
And a certified
Timberlake.
hottie.
My Love.
My Love. I just listened to it, and it's a banger.
It is. The unfortunate thing is if you put Justin Timberlake
My
on
love.
Spotify, 90% of it is Trolls music.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because there's a million
It's
Trolls
in my
movies, and I guess he's in all the
Goes electric
soundtracks.
wavy
He's such a
when I'm in
troll.
my zone. Got
I think it's
my
the
sunshine in
DreamWorks
my
Trolls.
pocket.
All right, I'm
Got
going to go
that
ahead and
dump in my feet.
round it up. My song for my mood right now would be one of my favorite songs of all time. It's Oil Man by Chad Cook Band. You ever heard of it?
Never heard of Oil Man.
Yeah.
Or the Chad Cook Band?
Yeah, many years ago I worked the oil field. And I tell you, even though I'm what hands call now management, those long nights...
How do you know about it? It only has so many listens.
Because I used to work in the oil field. So, yeah. It's just, those long nights, you really don't ever forget them. And I feel grateful right now.
Dude, it totally has like a Oh Brother Where Art Thou vibe to it.
Right? I love that movie.
Chain Gang. You would also like Wanted, Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi.
I like that song.
It's a classic. Hey, Christopher, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the best Bon Jovi performer you've ever seen
Oh,
do karaoke?
that would be by far. And I think I chalk it up to his raw confidence, like unbelievable, borderline delusional confidence in his words and his singing abilities. And that would be Cowboy Ryan.
Thank you.
I haven't heard it, so
Does your brother compete
How have
with
you not? How have you not heard me sing Bon Jovi, Angel?
I don't know. You don't like me.
Did you never attend Christmas karaoke?
It's always on Mexican Christmas, the 24th, so no.
well, they usually hold it at a bar, so that would. I mean, I'm sure they can get you some cervezas.
I don't celebrate Mexican Christmas anymore, so if there was to ever be one again, I may witness.
Okay.
Nice.
We'll consider.
You know, I got a bone to pick.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Let's hear your bones.
Me
sir.
too.
Oh shit.
So last episode, Cowboy Chris got called out for sounding like Pete Davidson stole a military surplus microphone from World War II to bless our viewers with 2 hours of nails on a chalkboard.
Are you rapping this?
That's how it was described to me.
It sounds like
well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? This can't stand. What kind of quality viewing experience would this be for our listeners without my harmonious and well-pitched voice surrounded by a choir of angels? Well, not today. Not on my watch. Let's fucking go.
Wow, look at that fancy pants.
Is that a Yeti?
No wonder he had fucking audio problems today.
Nice.
To the CoinOp Cowboys.
Sound the same.
You're in for a real treat.
You know what? He sounds the same because he had that working the whole time. He didn't. That mic
I don't
he
know what
had
you're
was
talking
a
about,
prop.
Steven.
He's been talking.
But it worked pretty well, didn't it?
Hey, shut the fuck up.
So you're picking a bone with a listener then?
I'm picking a bone with myself for letting us go 27 episodes with what I perceive to be a quality microphone that I could just unplug from my headset here. But, it finally, I was
good.
catching up on some of the last episodes and I was like, I sound terrible. So decisions were made. Amazon was purchased.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell
you're
him?
the reason why we have low viewership then, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
You're why we haven't been paid yet.
I'm gonna Venmo you for a request for my
There you go.
royalties.
But
that I
not
haven't
anymore,
been getting
guys.
yet.
It's a new horizon. New horizon for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris, for blessing us with your sultry and ruggedly awesome voice. Now, if only Ryan could understand what gain means.
Poop my pants.
It sounded like it was at the end of the tube.
You know, I swear this
Dude.
quality this quality machine that Ryan is on right now. He has like a one or two. He has like the earpieces that you get for free on American Airlines. So he's using that right now as his microphone, and his camera makes it look like he turned his office into a steam room. I mean, are you doing a hot sweat right now, my friend?
I wish. That'd be the best.
Clean your lens, man. Your lens has like oil on
lube.
it.
I don't know what's on there.
I don't want to know.
It's every human bodily fluid possible.
Yeah,
But while we're on the topic of picking bones,
oh, well, here we go.
I had a conversation with a listener
Oh.
who has a bone to pick with one of us four cowboys. Now, Steven, care to guess which bone they want to pick with the cowboy? Which cowboy are they picking today? Steven,
I think they're going to pick a bone with Angel.
They are going to pick a bone with Angel.
What did I do?
Wow.
Now, let me tell you, this listener we have is actually a professional Fortnite player. And they've sat idly by and listened to Angel claim week in and week out that he is a nationally ranked player, getting win after win after win.
Okay.
And this listener has analyzed the bits of gameplay that they have found with Angel, and they told me that Fortnite uses skill-based matchmaking, and for the level of player that Angel is, he is most certainly playing against bots.
What? No way, dude. No.
I need receipts on this, Ryan.
A liar, Angel?
I'm going to have to ask how they even saw me play.
Okay, first of all, I don't want to do this, but I think I'm going to step up to Angel's defense here. I think Ryan's making all this up using a listener to try to make his argument sound
Angel, let me
convincing.
I'll screenshot. I'm going to screenshot a message I have. I'm going to send it to you.
First of all,
right,
let's see the receipts. And how do we have proof that he's actually a Fortnite professional player?
How do we have proof of that?
It's actually a lady.
Then it's definitely not a professional.
And they were a
winner.
professional streamer. And they used to play nightly.
Professional streamer is not the same thing. Just showing tit for clout. I got
Steven,
it. Whatever.
You watch your mouth. You respect our listeners.
Whoever this listener is,
You
you're just
respect
showing your
our
titties
listeners.
for clout.
You respect our listeners, Steven.
Showing those titties.
I just sent you
Subscribe to my
the text
OnlyFans,
message,
please.
Steven, to confirm that I did not make this up.
I want to disrespect this listener.
You know what? I want to take a moment and I want to defend all of our listeners by verbalizing what they are all thinking. The only way to settle this is a one-on-one Thunderdome in Fortnite. We need our listeners' username. We need Angel's username, and we need a showdown of the century one-on-one.
Ryan, what does this prove? This is just a text with nobody's name.
Okay, I was protecting the listener. I'll send you that too.
I promise I will not. I will protect the listener as well if you disclose that information to me.
All right, Angel,
But
would you like to challenge
I'm
our
a little
listener? If you would, I could try to set something up. If you want to,
can you agree or disagree, Ryan?
She knows to stream it though.
You know, Ryan, it's gonna happen. Let's make it happen, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing building or no building server?
Doesn't matter. I'm the best.
The best, the best nationally ranked.
Nationally ranked. I am nationally ranked.
Guy, right?
Let's not forget that, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll extend the challenge. I will extend the challenge.
Ryan,
Steven.
in your experience, does this streamer use tit for clout?
They do not. They do not.
Really?
Very respectable. Very
Oh,
respectable.
nice.
Wow. Okay.
Of course. Well, listener, bring it on. Let's go. Let's get that dub.
Yeah, shoots and ladders match. Here we go.
All right. Very cool.
Do.
I'm going to go ahead and share the wheel now. We're gonna do the wheel.
Yeah, spin your fucking wheel.
Yeah. Here we go.
My love, my love, my love, my love, my love, my love.
Oh!
Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that?
It's Ryan.
It's me. It's me.
All right, Ryan. What did you bring for the CoinOp-ians today?
Well, you know how I always say, Angel, that the government tries to keep me from revealing the truth to our listeners. And, today they tried to break my computer and kept me out of here, and they almost prevented me from bringing this tale to you. And tonight's tale is called The Holiday Terror in the Big Easy. You know what the Big Easy is, Steven?
New knowledge.
Steven's,
No.
wait. Steven's butthole.
No.
That would be the big greasy.
No, I do know that Steven did blow up many toilets in New Orleans because he claims to have eaten a bad hot dog. But that's not what we're talking about today. Not Steven shitting his pants. You see, tonight's tale begins 15 years ago in the land of the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. Our focus of this tale is a young man named Jeremy, who one night was on a stroll on a local trail with his father. This night was Christmas Eve. Jeremy and his father are casually walking and sipping on some eggnog, talking about the birds and the bees. Jeremy's father said, "As you become a teenager, Jeremy, you're going to start having feelings, my boy. Have you found yourself a lady of interest?" And Jeremy said, "Oh, Dad, you're so awkward. In Mr. Gray's class, there's a girl named Beth. She smells like candy and sounds like an angel."
How old is Jeremy?
Oh, he's 12 years old. "Whoa, Mr. Gray's class. Are you napping and dreaming of angels?" "Oh, kid, that class is so boring." "Oh, yeah, anyway. Well, Beth, she's real sweet." "Jeremy, what's wrong?" And Jeremy's face went stone cold, and he just pointed into the woods. "Father, there's a Rugaru in the bush." "Jeremy, don't you ever say that word again." But, never again. You hear me?" "Yes, Father." And you know what, Chris? For the next 15 years, Jeremy never did dare utter the words Rugaru ever again.
Rugaru. How?
Until 20... Excuse me, Christopher?
Can you spell that for me?
It's Rougaru. Now, don't look it up yet, Christopher. I don't want you to get spoiled.
All right.
You'll get it revealed just like our listeners do. Now, Jeremy didn't dare repeat this word for 13 years until 2022. Now, at this time, Jeremy has moved away from the Big Easy and found himself living in sunny California. But once a year for the holidays, Jeremy would make a trip down to New Orleans to stay with his family and enjoy some sweet, sweet Southern hospitality. Now, last Christmas, 2022, while he was in town again, his father asked him to go on an evening run. Jeremy agreed, laced up his shoes, and him and his father took to the local lake, ran a few miles, and eventually they took a break. And Jeremy's father said, "So Jeremy, you're planning on making an honest woman of Beth?" "Yes, father. We've been dating for several years, and I think we're ready. We've discussed marriage a few times, and even talked about our guest list, and Mr. Gray made the list. We owe us to him, after all." Oh, you kids are so silly. Back in my day, the man would actually surprise the woman," and Jeremy's father stopped. And Jeremy was growing bored of his father's rant and was just staring into the woods near the lake. And as he stared, he noticed something very odd in the distance, Christopher. He saw a dog-like figure, but it was standing on its hind legs. "Father, it's the Rugaru again." "Oh, damn it, Jeremy. I told you to never say that word again. Let's hurry home." And Jeremy had never seen his father so angry, except for one time in his life. You know when that time was, Steven?
When you said Rugaru before?
When he said Rugaru 13 years ago.
Man, what could it be?
What could it be? So the two ran home quickly, not taking a single break and just bursting into the house without uttering a word. But as soon as they got there, Jeremy's mother saw the look on his father's face and said, "Damn it, Jeremy! You said it again, didn't you?" Jeremy said, Mother, I saw it." "Jeremy, you never mention that creature again, you hear me?" "Yes, father." And shortly after, Jeremy's mother and father went to bed, and Jeremy went to his guest room, and he couldn't sleep. So he went to the kitchen, got a glass of milk, and stared out the window towards the nearby woods that bordered his parents' property. And as he stared into the woods, he saw two glowing red eyes staring back at him. These eyes were staring straight into his soul, and they're about the height of what you'd expect a human to be. Jeremy saw them blink and continue to glow in the night, and he rushed through the house, locked all the doors, got under the covers, and just prayed he'd go to sleep. He never did. He stayed up all night. The next morning, Jeremy went down for breakfast, and his mother said, "Good morning, my dear. How did you sleep?" "Terribly," Jeremy said. "Oh, my. Why is that?" "Mother, I saw it again. The Rugaru." "Jeremy, don't you ever say those words again. It will connect to you." Now, that's the end of Jeremy's tale. But you know why Jeremy's parents were so afraid, Angel?
Angel stepped away. Because I think
fucking ruined it.
you can
Ruined
ask any
story.
other cowboy.
All right, Chris. Why were Jeremy's parents so upset?
I think they were upset because when you say its name, it gets closer and closer and wants to attack you. So it's almost like they were antagonizing the Rugaru, and they blame it on Jeremy.
That's a good theory. Now, Jeremy's parents were afraid that if he kept mentioning the name of the Rugaru, the creature would attach itself to the young boy and eventually transfer a curse of the Rugaru onto their precious child. Now, when I first found this story, I scoured the internet, and I found a picture of the Rugaru. Are you ready to see it?
No, because
Yeah.
I think werewolves are scary-looking critters anyways.
Where do you get werewolf from, Christopher? Did I ever say we're talking about werewolves? I did not.
Are we talking about a wolf-dog thing?
I said a dog thing.
On two legs? Okay, a scary dog. Let's go with that.
Okay, well, let me show you the Rugaru.
Now, don't keep it up too long. You might frighten Steven like last time.
This is the Rugaru.
Nope, it's a white screen. Not scary.
Oh.
You don't see it?
Nope, white screen.
It's white.
Oh,
Jesus
there you
Christ.
Oh my God.
It's a person.
Like
That is the
know what that
Rugaru.
That's just a normal kid like trying to keep his head above water. Is that in the swamp?
That's hair.
Dude,
That's hair.
Zoom in on that thing.
That's hair.
Oh, Dude, that's like Steven right there. Has all this hair on his head, but none on his face.
Now let me show you an artist's interpretation of the Rugaru, as this is the only documented image of one that I've seen.
Why was the picture cropped so bad? Oh, see, that looks more terrifying.
Why would that look so different?
Yeah.
Because this is the artist's interpretation, Steven. That looks like a werewolf. But this is the Rugaru.
I swear, that Rugaru picture is cropped, and I'm curious, like, what museum
Don't you worry
they
about
were
the
at.
cropping. Don't you worry about the cropping. Now,
Looks legit. Not gonna lie.
It's like a fat kid.
Disagree.
Now, this is a creature known to be found in Louisiana. Reports of the Rugaru go all the way back very many centuries. Its origins have been dated back to when the French settlers first came to Louisiana. The name Rugaru is derived from the French word loup-garou. You know what that means, Christopher?
Lupi is Latin
Loup-garou.
for like a wolf or a canine. Lupus is what I'm thinking of.
Pretty close. It means werewolf.
Boom. That's why you asked me the question, werewolf.
That is why I asked you the question. You spoiled it for everybody.
Spoiled it.
Now, legends say that the Rugaru were once men that have been cursed, and there are 3 ways that you can get cursed into becoming a Rugaru angel.
Okay.
Rugaru.
What are the 3? Is it like a bite? Is it getting it up the butt from one? And eating arugulas?
Method number 1 is to be bitten by a Rugaru. Method number 2 is to be cursed by a witch or a voodoo practitioner. And method number 3 is if you fail to follow the rules of Lent for 7 consecutive years, you may turn into a Rugaru.
That's oddly specific.
It is believed that those who fail to practice Lent will be hunted down by another one that has already gotten the curse, and they will pass that curse on to you.
As they should.
Now, it is believed that this curse lasts only for 101 days, Stephen. You know what happens after 101 days?
No.
You die.
Damn.
Oh, that sucks.
So if you fail to pass on the curse, you die.
Harsh.
How do you pass it on, like sexually?
Probably.
A,
Stephen?
It reminds me of The Ring.
Stephen, I have a test for you.
Go ahead.
I need you to pay attention to my webcam. And I want you to count how many fingers I put up. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. What'd you count? Count out loud.
1, 1, 1.
No, it's like adding up.
It's consecutive.
Yeah.
Okay, 2,
All right.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
so much tension.
12, 13.
All right. You've passed the test, Stephen.
Why?
Now, it is believed that the Rugaru cannot count to 13.
12 is okay.
So I know you are not a werewolf. Though at the very beginning, when you weren't able to count, I started to think you could very well be a Rugaru, especially with your shaved head. So that is a test. While in human form, they cannot count past the number 12, and one may protect themselves by placing 13 small objects in front of your doors. So if you want to sleep safe that night, just put 13 pennies at your door. Anything that adds up to 13. Could be anything. Now, it is believed that the Rugaru also have the ability to shapeshift into other forms other than wolf-like creatures. And I have a couple more stories to tell you guys. Not as involved as Jeremy's. But one was a local hunter
I have a question.
in Louisiana. Yes.
Do
yes.
do you know how to say werewolf in Spanish?
No.
Donde Pedro?
Oh. Where's Pedro?
What? What? No.
Angel does not confirm this.
No, I'm pretty sure I Googled it. Now Ryan, do your other stories also involve the Rugaru, or are you moving on to a different critter?
This is all about the Rugaru. Okay.
Okay. I do eventually have some questions, but please proceed.
Yeah. Two short stories. One is of a local hunter, Chris, as you might relate. Now, one night, he was using a crossbow.
Bad choice.
And at night, he was hunting, and he shot an owl with an arrow. Saw it sitting in a tree.
There's so many problems. Okay.
What the hell?
One, he's hunting at night, which you're not supposed to do, but even if you do, like, what are you trying to hunt for? Two, you're using a crossbow, which does not take any effort. It's point and shoot. You would at least be using a bow and arrow. And then three, people don't hunt owls. That's not like, hey, I got my owl tag. Let's all head down to the barn and see if we can find one. Like all that's wrong.
Well, I don't know if he was hunting owls specifically, but he shot an owl and he killed it. Okay.
That also sounds incredibly hard to do. There's a reason that people bird hunt with shotguns.
He's a skilled hunter. Saw it fall out of the tree, but because it was so dark, he decided to leave it till the morning. And the next day, he came back, went to the tree. You know what he found when he was trying to collect his trophy, Christopher?
Nothing, because something ate it.
That is incorrect. He found a human lying on the floor with an arrow in his chest.
The Rugaru?
Fourth reason to not hunt with a crossbow at night.
I think he fucked up.
Yeah.
He's all blaming
like,
it. Hey, it was an owl the night before.
Yeah, of course. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to find that one. I'm just going to leave it for the morning. Yeah, sure. We've all been there.
Okay. Well, my other story is more for the common man that doesn't hunt animals for fun. This was someone just driving down a local highway, middle of the night, as we do sometimes. And they saw a cow go in front of their car, and they smashed into the cow, Steven.
Their car came to a screeching halt.
Now, the man got out of his car to check what happened. He saw no cow, Steven. You know what he saw?
A man.
A man. And this man just stood up and casually walked away.
He moved away, but
So now that I've brought you 3 tales of the Rugaru, what are our thoughts? I know you got questions, Christopher.
Yeah. So my first one is it's specifically to Louisiana. So I don't like the idea. A wolf, a werewolf, a big dog, things like that. I'm trying to think like habitat, like the abominable snowman. Where do you think he lives at?
Oh, he lives in the snow.
Right, that would make sense. Okay, the Loch Ness monster. Where does that one live? In the water,
Loch
right?
Ness.
Okay,
Yeah.
So why is a werewolf wandering through the swamp? Especially if you have Louisiana, you got Arkansas, you got Alabama right around there, but instead he wants to travel through an area that has creeks everywhere. He needs to be traveling through the water everywhere he goes. I mean, how is he going to be quiet? And then on top of that, if you look at the main predators in a swamp or Louisiana in particular, it's like 3. It's the alligator, it's the snake, and man, I don't even know what the other one would be. Disease, I guess. So I'm like,
Mandingo.
You look at the normal predators, and they all have something to do with living in the water. So why would a werewolf be there when he could be in Arkansas or some higher area where there's not as swampy and he can actually do his thing, like where real wolves used to hang out?
Valid?
I mean, there's like vaguely coyotes still in Louisiana.
Well, but I brought you stories of the Rugaru taking shape of things other than wolves. Adapting, some might say.
Did not think of that.
In one instance, the Rugaru was an owl, and the other, it was a cow. Experimenting. Adapting for survival.
Doesn't know how to choose an animal.
It was in the cow story. It was the cow. It was like, you know what? I'm going to stand here and get hit by this station wagon to prove a point.
Now, what if I was to tell you that I saw a Rugaru when I was in Nolans way back in the day?
So you were drunk?
I would be asking what bar you were at.
How would you know it's the Rugaru?
I mean, at the time, I thought it was just a big night bird. We were in an Uber, and this giant bird flew in front of the car. And I said, oh, look, a fucking night bird. But now, after researching Rugaru, I feel like I may have seen a Rugaru in its animal form.
Wow.
I also like night birds. It's my favorite species.
Is it because you tattoo owls on your chest and you stay up all night?
Yeah. So listen here, Ryan. Sorry, man. This is probably the weakest monster you've brought.
Whoa.
That's a big statement.
I'm not going to be scared of something that takes the shape of a fucking cow. And if it wasn't for that fucking dude hitting it with the car, he would have never turned back into whatever. A man. He would have stayed a cow, a harmless cow. was the last time someone got killed by a cow?
Well, you see, the cow was probably waiting for someone to come milk it, and as soon as it milked it, it was going to bite them and then transfer the curse. It's quite genius of the Rugaru, I would say.
So you now are confirming that the curse is transferred via bite.
Yes, I said that earlier.
Yeah, he said that was one of the three.
That was number one, Steven.
No, I said, do you transfer
What was
sexually?
that
You
noise?
said, maybe.
The Rugaru.
I don't know. You're hearing things, Ryan.
I want to
count to 13 for us, bud.
You can't do it.
Okay.
Now,
No one dare challenge me to counting the 13.
You know, Steven, I do want to attack one of your statements here that you're like, man, no one should be terrified of a cow. I'll have you know there is a list called Top 10 Deadliest Animals in America. And do you know where cows are at on that list?
Doesn't matter.
Number 4, baby.
What?
Most
4?
deadliest animal is deer because people are driving their motorcycle, their car, and the deer comes through the window and attacks them. Number 2 is hornets, bees, wasps because the whole like fuck around, find out meter gets a little too big. Number 3 is dogs, and then livestock is after that. And cows are very
Livestock
common.
could be anything, though, right?
No, I don't think so. They have the livestock. It has a picture of a cow on it. So I guess because that's what a cow's real name is.
I don't know if it's like it must be incidental, like a stampede, or like they all get spooked. And
No, it's the freaking. It's them kicking you. It's actually my grandmother. They lived on a farm, and one of the cows stepped on her foot and just crushed it. And she ended up fighting infection in that foot for a very, very long time. And then the other one is...
I heard a cow kick is also called a Midwest abortion.
What the fuck?
That'll do the trick. But I've seen some of these guys get kicked by cows, and it's like break ribs. I mean, if you take one to the head or chest, it would probably do you in. Let alone if one gets mad at you and wants to charge you.
I used to think don't walk behind livestock or horses or whatever.
Yes.
But then I saw a fucking video of a horse kicking sideways. Now I'm just like, fuck horses, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fucker kick sideways.
You telling me this isn't terrifying, Steven?
I said it's your weakest monster demon thing to date. No, it's cropped.
I like, yeah. Like it.
Although this is like a good movie, though, right? Like they could make like a really good movie about this entity.
That picture looks like you took a selfie. You were laying in bed with the lights off, covers over your face.
So let me ask you this, Ryan. What made you? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Kind of like, okay, I'm more convinced that I saw a rutabaga.
The Rugaru.
Yeah.
There's just something in my hearts of hearts because this night bird that I saw in Nolans was very big, and to this day I've never seen a night bird be so big.
Wow!
And it was just so random. It was in the middle of like a suburban area, place where there's not really any birds, and I don't know. I feel like I've witnessed something special. I didn't think anything of it 10 years ago, but today I believe in my hearts of hearts that I have seen and escaped the curse of the Rugaru.
Okay.
How much of this story is just you happy saying the word Ruby?
Lots.
But you know what, Steven? Challenge accepted. You've challenged the spookiness of this week's tale. The next time you hear from me, I'm going to scare you. I'm going to make you cross your legs and squeeze them real tight because you're going to shit your fucking pants.
Oh, shit.
You know, so Ryan, when I first Googled the Rugaru, I actually came across this creature that looks like a cross between a werewolf and an alligator. And I was really confused seeing that. And now I see it's because you're saying that it can take on anything. But they're calling it Louisiana's Bigfoot of the Swamp.
Yeah, baby. Look at that beastie.
Yeah.
You telling me that's not scary, Steven? It's got fucking spikes coming out of its thighs.
Cajun legend says the beast hunts down Catholics who don't follow rules of Lent.
Jesus Christ!
So all the Protestant out there, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
Just
you're in good
Catholics
shape.
is who he's focusing
I
on.
like how on the left-hand side it says family fun.
All right. I challenge Ryan.
Mm.
I
Fortnite?
challenge you to a spook off.
Oh!
Ooh.
You bring your spookiest tale, and I'll bring my spookiest tale to the next podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's do
Spook
it.
off.
Let's
Like
spook
this.
shit.
We'll let all of our listeners decide which tale is more creepy.
That's going to be a good one.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Time for a spook fest, baby.
So I was watching.
Just in time for Halloween.
So I was watching this TikTok video. Since deer season was upon us and actually just ended, I've been getting a lot of deer hunting and other hunting videos coming through my TikTok feed. And I saw one where this guy had this fantastic idea. He's out in the woods and he is putting his hands together and he's able to do an amazing like wolf howl with like lots of different inflections and adjustments and like go and then like the little yip 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 at the end. Yeah, he was crushing it. So he did a really good one. Then he like paused, just kind of look around. His buddy's filming it, and then he does another one. And after he's done with another one, I kid you not, it sounded like 50 coyotes all in unison started yipping and carrying on and getting buck wild. And the guy like stands up real quick and he looks around and he starts seeing coyotes running back and forth through the perimeter. And then the video cuts off.
Crazy.
Rugaru.
The Rugaru, baby. Well, that's all I got to say about the Rugaru.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much, Ryan, for
You want to spin your fucking wheel?
for your Rugaru. All right. Let's bring back the wheel. See which cowboy is next.
That's all I kept thinking about was Shaggy and Scooby Doo.
I was like, is Ryan trying to say Ruger? Like he's buying a handgun?
Oh boy. You guys are treated to a double whammy Ryan Steven episode.
Yeah,
oh,
baby.
man, this is going to get a lot of hits.
This is going to be a top-rated episode.
Dude, it's going to be over the porn episode.
Yeah, Steven. Steven, what'd you bring for the CoinOp-ians today?
Oh, God. Let me load this up here, guys. It's special. Special one.
What was your friend's? What was that delinquent that you talked about last time? Your friend, Johnny,
Jeff.
Delinquent. Wait,
right.
Steven, did Jeff suggest shaving your head so you can be more like him?
He had really long hair, actually, back when I knew him. And then I know he shaved it off eventually, but when he was a piece of shit, it was long hair. And he was this like 6'8" guy that was probably weighed like 140. He was skinny, like just a skeleton with long hair and just total piece of shit. Anyways, hung out with a bunch of kids. Fucking creep.
Yeah, I forgot he was older.
Yeah, he was older. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So I think it's time. There's an update here. This segment is the Grand Mafia Part 3.
Oh.
Subtitle, Game Over.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. To recap, for all those new listeners that we're going to get off this episode and all the ones that probably have forgotten, about a year ago, I downloaded a mobile game called The Grand Mafia. I did this because a golf game I was playing would offer rewards if I played the Mafia game. The more I did in the Mafia game, the more I would unlock in the golf game. So the story goes. I started playing that Mafia game, laughing at how dumb the game was and how anyone who played it was stupid. I considered it an insult to video games. I laughed along, unlocking meaningless characters and building up a pointless mansion. I made fun of all the losers who were dumb enough to devote time and tons of money to this game. I chugged along doing what I needed to do to unlock rewards. I did whatever needed to be done. This game was a big, massively played online game by lots of people. You played it with thousands upon thousands of people. Social climbing was a necessity, a major part of becoming successful in the game. So as you guys remember, I used my amazingly good looks and irresistible charm to develop an in-game relationship with a trans woman and her partner. I used this relationship to get my character into a powerful faction that I had no business being in. The rewards were starting to pile up and fall into my lap, and I was happily unlocking golf club after golf club back in the golf game. But then, to quote my one of my favorite comedians, Bo Burnham, the funniest thing happened.
You fell in love.
That golf game, that golf game started to collect dust. My time on this stupid, silly little Mafia game started to increase. What's the harm in a little microtransaction here, Ryan? What's a night spent battling other players there?
Not a penny spent, that's what I say.
Yeah. It happened without me even realizing what was going on. I had become addicted to this Mafia game. Months passed by and my status in the game soared. The thruple demanded I break away from the powerful faction and follow them to another city. I not so politely refused. The power surged through my veins, Ryan. I wanted to climb higher and be more powerful than anyone else. I couldn't do it with those disgusting... I shouldn't say what.
What? They're going to listen to the podcast someday.
I could not get powerful following those disgusting misfits to another city. Before you say I'm like a bad person, their faction was entitled Misfits, so fuck off. I partnered myself with the people that were more powerful than them, and then we joined an even more powerful group of people.
Ooh.
I did.
Zero honor.
No honor, just climbing that ladder of power. It was power hungry, Ryan. I was power tripping and ignoring the golf game. I was chosen to lead armies, brought into a small council of players responsible for making executive decisions for the city. I conquered, I lost, I conquered again. I opened my wallet a bit more than I was comfortable
You're like the Peter Dinklage of this game.
Power doesn't come for free, Ryan. I never thought twice about it. I mean, there were players spending small fortunes on this game. Accounts worth millions. People spending $1,000 a week was just normal. I was a small fish with big sharky friends. But as time went on, I became more comfortable. What was going on here? Yeah. I became more comfortable with the time that was required to achieve what I really wanted. I became numb to all the micro and macro transactions. And I feel like time was passing by faster than ever. I woke up, I played, I worked, I played, I stayed up late, I played. It fully consumed me. Who the fuck is the idiot now? Well, not me, Ryan. Not me.
How much money did you
Regardless,
spend? How much money
I want to know. I want to know too.
Regardless of what Mel says every day, I am not the idiot. I'm well respected.
Did you have to sell your hair to make the mortgage?
Oh, shit.
I'm not talking about that, Ryan. So yeah, before I keep going with this, I had a little bit more, but yeah, I don't know. I started adding up the microtransactions over the course of a year, and I wasn't very happy with that number, Ryan.
You were not very happy.
I was not very happy with that number, Ryan.
God.
Yeah, but I ignored it and I pushed through. You do not get to be at the top by being a pussy.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, right?
Yeah, right? So it all came crumbling down. Last week, after we had this like big city battle where we battled another city that was equal strength with us, it took everything. I spent every last resource in the game that I had. We ended up winning, but it cost me and our faction everything. And I stared at the screen, looking at the repair bills to everything that I had damaged and used. And that crushing reality set in. And I was just suddenly seeing everything for the way it was. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, fuck this game. It needs to go. I saw in that moment, like, how much it had consumed me and how much time I was spending on it. And I was just like sick to my stomach. And, yeah, it had beat me. That game had beat me. And, but in that moment of clarity, I, clicked out of the game, long pressed on the icon, and I uninstalled it. And then I messaged, just really quickly did it. I changed the email connected to the account to a generic email, and I sent off the login details to my faction leader person. I said, give this account to somebody who's going to use it. I'm out.
Wow.
And I dipped.
Did you disconnect your credit card?
The credit card has been frozen by the bank, I think, at this point. No, yeah. So I've taken the steps to it, but Yeah, so that was quite the experience, and not what I was. I mean, maybe I think in the back of my head going into it, I was like, I'm going to be the idiot that actually gets addicted to this game, and it's gonna beat me because these games are designed so well to prey on those things that you have inside you, like the competition, like you want to be better than other people. They prey on the click this button and you get the money sound, and you click this button, you get a cha-ching, cha-ching, you like always feel like you're getting this like rush of endorphins off everything you're doing in that game. And then there was this like really cool social aspect where you're doing this with hundreds of other people that you're talking to and getting to know. And it's like, you feel normal in that world, spending money on a game or doing whatever, spending all your time to do like stupid battles and shit. Like you feel so normal doing it because you're surrounded by people who are also doing it. So like it was just a crazy addictive experience for me. And I feel like the only other thing I can compare it to was smoking cigarettes and playing World of Warcraft. Those are the only other two things that I've ever felt in my life that were that addicting as this experience. And so in the style of Angel, tonight, I think we talk about addiction. Mm-hmm. What does it mean? It's a word. It's a word, addiction.
Yeah, very good.
How does it affect you? Do you guys have any of these kind of experiences in your life? Video games or not video games or whatever? Have you ever felt so obsessed with something or addicted to something and had to pull yourself away from it?
Do you think you can have good and bad addictions? Or do you think by the time you call it an addiction, it's a bad thing?
I think by the time it's an addiction, it has a negative connotation, because everybody I talked to in the game, because I kind of had like these feelings creeping up on me, and I think I would like talk to people sometimes like, yo, like, I don't know, man, this game is kind of like, and they're like, no, you just got to like compartmentalize it. You just got to like, take some time off and do this. I'm like, I can't. Like, it's all or nothing for me. Like, I need to like play it and be good at it, and like, I can't just like not spend the $5, or I can't not just spend the $10 or whatever it is that week or that day that they're asking you to pay. Like, I need to get those items. I need to be better. I need to be prepared for a battle, like this and this and that. Like, I can't just casually do this.
You gotta be all in on something, right?
That's how I get with gaming.
Yeah. When did you start Mafia Wars, and when did you delete?
So I had a consecutive login going in the game that was 320 days consecutive login.
Impressive.
You get bonuses for doing that?
You do, but I don't think that's when I started, because that was when I started the good faction that I got in the good faction was 320 days. So I would say add like 40 days to that. So I said about a year. Like, I think I probably downloaded it around this time last year and played it.
Did it I'm assuming, like with most addictions in life, I feel like they start fairly small and then they just continue to grow and grow. Do you feel like this one did the same thing?
Very innocent and small, very big. Yeah, like that's how I felt with this. It was very small and innocent, because at first I wasn't really playing it to play this game. Like, I wasn't attracted to this game. I didn't want to do it. Like, I've seen Clash of Clans, similar type games that are like, oh, hey, play this Walking Dead game, or hey, play this Game of Thrones game, and you get into it and you're just like, dude, it's just like a money grab. Like, I don't see how that could be appealing. You just get a little city and you slowly start building buildings in it, and you use like some currency to speed it up, or this and this and that. And it's just like, it looks like shit. Like, where's the actual game? Like, so I didn't really even pursue this game. So it started off little by little as I met people and started doing more things in the game. Like, it took hold.
Do you feel like it impacted your sleep? Or
big time?
I would say I would like to hear about the sleep one, and I would like to hear about, do you think it ate up a lot of time at work? Because I feel like when I was playing Clash of Clans, it was a lot of like, oh, I got a few minutes at work, let me just knock this out real quick.
Yeah, so like, I think a thing for me moving forward is I think I might just avoid all mobile games, because your access to your mobile phone is it's always there. You always have your phone. So you're on a lunch break, you're in the bathroom, you're at like, whatever. You're at a stoplight, you're wherever, you might go on your phone when you're not even supposed to be on your phone, work, and it's just too accessible. I feel like if you're only gaming on your console or your PC, you will set aside time for it, and it's not going to become something that will take over like your schedule.
Because it then has a time and place versus being available everywhere.
Yeah, it's scary to have a game that you're into like be available everywhere. I don't like it.
feel like I've
So
had
how much did you spend, Steven? I really need to know the number.
I will talk to you guys that privately. I will not disclose that on here.
Do you need a loan?
No. I never it was never like above my means, but it was something I was uncomfortable with because Ryan would know this, and all you guys would know. You guys grew up as gamers. Like, you bought the game and you played it. There was never fucking more money to spend unless they released a big expansion or a sequel to the game. So this new age where every game's doing it now, it's not just this stupid game. They want to charge you for either cosmetic or like perform, like, you know, pay to win kind of stuff. And it's just a plague. And so like I've never really been in a situation where I'm constantly being asked to spend $5 or whatever it is, you know. And yeah, it's just weird.
They're all live service now, thanks to Fortnite, that piece of shit.
What game do you think actually started the microtransaction trend?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush?
Yeah, all the
Was that
phone
it?
ones started it. Like when the
mobile
iPhone first
gaming?
came out, like every single app was free, but you could like buy something within it. And then they had like a few stupid like I remember there was one app on when the iPhone first came out where it was literally like a diamond, and you'd open it up and it was a diamond, and it was just like a static screen of a diamond. But they charged different prices based on the color, and there was like one that was like the platinum diamond, and it was literally like a couple $1,000s. And it had purchases on the App Store, like you could see like people bought it.
I remember that, like the I'm a Rich app or something like that.
Stupid. People bought it, and all it did.
But there are people out there with a ton of disposable income. There is people out there like that that could play a game like this, and they don't care that they're spending $1,000 a week. That's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, to their lifestyle. But I thought that they had gone through there's legislation where they couldn't have like random loot, like a crate or something that you could open up.
No, they can still do it, random loot. They have to display the odds and fine print, just like if you're buying a scratcher or something, because they're pretty much.
I don't think that
like
they.
gambling.
Yeah, this game specifically did not have any of that, but it's also like produced by Yoda Games, which I think is like a not even American company, so I don't know if they have to follow this.
It probably doesn't apply to like that, like the Android store or whatnot, because it's a Wild West over there. But I know that was a big deal with Overwatch. Got a lot of heat for it.
Yeah,
and they added it there.
I found it.
Counter-Strike 2 was a big one.
The first microtransaction sold by a major publisher was in 2006 when Bethesda sold Horse Armor in Elder Scrolls
like
4 Oblivion for $2.50.
Wow.
It was made as an experiment to test the market's reaction to DLC. Most players reacted negatively, claiming $2.50 for an in-game cosmetic was far too much.
Wow, people will spend $5,000 on a cosmetic nowadays. Mm-hmm. Like if you released a skin for a thing and it could charge $5,000 on a popular game, there will be many purchases of it. Just because some people it's just like the people that go to clubs now. I see all this shit on TikTok. They go to clubs and they order bottle service just to pour it on the floor. Just to show people like, I don't give a fuck about this.
Bottle service has always kind of been like, it's like showy. Ordering fajitas at the Mexican restaurant. It's all
That's
show.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I can't believe that. They probably had so much flack for releasing a $2 skin. Back then, $2 for anything cosmetic would be like disgusting.
But even though they got like so much flack for it, they probably still sold like tens of thousands of them. And it just showed them they could.
Yeah. Well, I think microtransactions might have existed indirectly before that with third-party like auction houses and stuff for games like Diablo 2. You could buy items off of people on a different website.
Yeah.
Then the game started to try to claim that for themselves.
Yeah, of course, because they saw people would do it. So it's like, okay, why are we not getting a piece of the pie now? And they slowly did it. And now it's commonplace and people don't think twice. I've never bought a cosmetic in a video game.
Well, I mean, you're very like strict. I never spent like money on a game. Like I would play Candy Crush and buy like a $4 pack, right? And be like, oh fuck, dude, I shouldn't have bought that, or something like that. It's the regret. And then like now, like this with this gaming experience, it was like, oh, $5, that's cheap, and you bought it, It's like, didn't get $5 didn't get you very far in that game, like. But I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't regret too much about it all. I mean, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Like there was a lot of fun gameplay. Like once you got really deep into it, that I didn't expect. But yeah, that's just how that goes.
But wasn't a situation where you would say you would direct your guy to, hey, march over to that city and attack, and then it would be a wait game, right? Like you wouldn't actively be steering a person, right?
Well, yeah. So they had certain sort of situations where you're battling live other people, and it was like, you would send troops. Yeah, you would be sending troops. They'd walk over to it, but it was all pretty fast action. So like you'd send a recon, or you'd send something to scout out what kind of troops he has, and you're trying to send a counter, and then they're just trying to counter your counter, and it's all stat based. So like you send 300,000 of your troops. It's rock paper scissor kind of counter system, and then you had stats based off of your gear and shit, all pay to win, of course. So you wouldn't, and they would show you how much power the guy has. So you'd be like, I'm not going to fuck with that guy because he has like so much power. Like, even if I counter him, he's still going to beat me. So there was some of that. I mean, I guess there was some good combat systems there, but
when would you say was the latest at night that you were playing this game? Were you like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? Did you catch yourself playing it?
So I would play it like as I was going to bed, and sometimes it would push it. But what I found myself more I'd be waking up at weird hours just with it on my mind. Like, oh shit, I need to fucking do this. Like I need to refresh. Like I'd be like in a competition where like you're trying to like, attack the most buildings or whatever. And like you out of sleep. But like when you go to sleep, you're not generating any more points anymore. So like 3 a.m, you'd wake up feeling like, oh shit, I need to do something. Like, and I would hop on the game and like send out more shit to be attacking and then go back to bed. So I'd be like having this weird broken sleep and just, I don't know. I was fucking up my sleep a lot. Intrusive into my dreams and stuff too. You'd dream that like you forgot to set your defenses before you went to bed and someone's attacking you.
You were truly addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
I went very deep down that rabbit hole. And like Mel was getting pissed. Like, oh, you're always on that fucking, on the game and all this shit. Like, I knew it was causing a lot of problems. And like your life blurs past you because you're like, your nose is in this game all the time. And you're just ignoring everything around you.
I noticed a few of those times.
I was like, I gotta go.
When I would see you periodically, I'd be like, oh, Mafia Wars, or I would see you turn the phone or something like that. I'm like, oh, there's that going on right now.
He's hiding.
Yeah, it was too many of those comments started popping up, and like the funny part is like when you're really into it, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm just gonna still keep playing. Like you see some friends who maybe might be into the sports a little bit, and it's like. Yeah, and I'm guilty of that too on Football Sunday. It's like, dude, when that shit's going on, you're like, oh man, it's on the phone. You're like, I can't break away. I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to watch it. I don't give a fuck. Speaking of football, there's another question I had was, do you ever feel like you've had a gambling problem, or do you think you have properly managed your gambling? I'm better with gambling than I am with like video games. Like gambling, I'm just like, man, I suck at this. I'm stopping. Like I'm not winning shit. Just stop.
Like in if there's all the CoinOp-ians out there, if you guys use Sleeper for your fantasy football, Sleeper app, which it started as just a fantastic fantasy football app that had it got news faster than anything else. It was more customizable than anything else. It was a great new app to ESPN and Yahoo, but now they've blended it where the same app has a betting feature. You can pick players and be like, are they going to be Herbert, is he going to be above or below 200 yards? And you could put $5 here, $10 here, and you string a few of those.
Bet actual money within the Sleeper app.
Yes, that's
you can bet people's stats and what they might do during the game, and you have to parlay it.
Dude, talk to your brother, man.
It's not that fun because you have to parlay it, so you're creating really hard bets for yourself.
Yeah,
and you can bet small money on it, whatever, for fun. But I came one bet away from winning 1,000, but it was like, you don't win. I haven't won shit. I haven't even won a little. I even bet conservative bets. I don't win. So I'm done with that.
The running joke. So in our Ass Fantasy Football League, we have an Ass Chat where we're all you show our bets. Sometimes we're like, oh, I like Steven's bet. I'm going to copy his and jump in on it. Like I jumped in with another guy in there one time and we almost won it. We were one guy away. It was like a 5-person bet, so it was going to win us maybe like $100 or something. It wasn't crazy, but it's so easy to do. And on top of that, you can do it without other of your teammates knowing. Like we have another teammate that he's like, oh, I've been losing a lot recently. I said, dude, you haven't posted one bet. You know what? You need to start posting your bets so I can call you out when it becomes a problem. Because if you're secretly betting hundreds of dollars every week, then, that's an issue.
I mean, I definitely see some people who have like a pure addiction to gambling, and I can recognize that. I know that's not me. But I am fully aware that I get addicted to like certain video games. Like I was fully addicted to World of Warcraft, like fully. Like that was I basically lived in that universe. Mm-hmm. Like I was on my computer all day long. Like my mom would be like, "You need to leave the house. Like you've been in your room for 3 days straight, like just playing World of Warcraft." Like like certain other games, I would say maybe like Diablo and League of Legends might have pulled me in pretty good, but not the same. Not as much.
I have I was thinking about that on addiction. Is I'm a firm believer that every person has their one thing in life that is their downfall. It's their thorn in the side. It's the thing that they keep tripping up on, or it's the thing they get addicted to. And I feel like I've come across people like that. Like let's say you have a lot of friends who have no problem drinking alcohol, but then every once in a while you come across a guy that's like, oh, that guy just, he can't handle it. He can't say no.
Yeah.
Or you have the other guy that's, it could even be like a work addiction, or it can be, I don't know, something else that could be like detrimental in life. So what I tell people is identify what your thing is. Like I know what mine is. I'm not going to say it on the air, but I know what it is. So I keep an eye on that. And anytime I get something that's nearby, I try to tread more lightly. And I feel like it's been very helpful in addressing that.
You said that's you have something that you're like that with?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's private.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one that I look at
it's heroin.
Yeah.
Speculate wildly.
I told you that in confidence. It's actually meth. Meth is what is byproduct in Yucca Valley. So
too much Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but it's funny because it can start as something like, I mean, let's take this gaming example. Let's say if Steven's thing was spending money or time on a game, you're like, hey, little increments, not a big deal. Over the course of the year, it sounds like he was raking up a lot of money. But let's say you get to the point where, I mean, let's say Steven spent like $80,000 last year, right, on this game. I would be like, dude, that's a problem. Like, your life could start falling apart, like your spouse, your kids, you could get into legal trouble, things like that. So it can start as something small, but you want to keep it small so it doesn't turn into something big.
Yeah.
I like how Chris's breaking point, like, yeah, if you spend like $80,000, if I fucking spent $10,000 on this game, I'd be fucking looking for a new wife and house. Bro.
Gotcha. Okay, so you spent about $8,000 then. Is that where it's at?
Get close. A lot, it can build up over a year. I mean, if you think about it.
Oh yeah,
365 days a year. If you spent $2 a day on it, $700. If you spent $5 a day on it, $1,500. So yeah, it builds up.
I try to talk to my wife about that. Like when we go to Vegas, I'd be like, "Hey, let's talk about what each of us think is cool to lose gambling. Like what our own limits would be." So and I remember she said like, I don't know, like $800. I was like, $800. Like I was going to stop at like 300.
Yeah,
exactly.
I always think if I lose over a paycheck, that's when it hurts. Like in my experience, that's just by like that's just empirical data, right? Like, is that what empirical data means? Where you like have tested it, you just like,
let's go.
I don't know, whatever. It's just like the trial and error method of like what feels awful to lose, and I feel like a paycheck you can just rationalize it. Like, okay, on Friday it's gonna. 1 week of pay, right? 1 week of pay. You're like, well, on Friday, like we can just get it back and it would just pretend it never happened. But,
it'd be fine.
So I've kind of kept that metric as I go to Vegas, as I get older. It's like, all right. So like, I feel like, I don't know. What is your guys' I don't even know if it's paid because you get paid more nowadays, but I feel like if I lost just gambling more than $1,000, I would not be happy.
Yeah.
Like I usually bring $1,000 cash with me to Vegas for everything. And if I leave without it, I'm just like, that sucks, but life will move on. It's not going to ruin anything. But
yeah,
some people are like, no, dude, I don't spend anything on gambling.
Yeah, mine's like, if I bring $300 and that's it. Never go to the ATM. Just bring $300 cash. Yeah. And usually if I get up like $150, if I'm up, I'll just take it, walk away. I'm like, all right, that's good. I'm done.
Yeah.
I think, mine's about like 400. I would say bring that and just be like, hey, I'm okay if I lose this. It sucks, but it is what it is. But this one last time I went to Vegas, I think I lost $800 or $900 all in like a day on sports betting, and I was like sick to my stomach. It was terrible. I still
I think we were all in that same boat, and like I honestly couldn't leave fast enough. I was just like nothing. Everything I touched would just turn to shit, and then finally was like blackout drunk at the end of the day. And I was just like, I'd win some money and then just like immediately go for like the moon, like shoot for the stars, right? Like I won $200. Let's double down. It's like, nope, it's gone.
You have to leave your debit card at home when you go to Vegas.
Yeah, there you go.
I honestly think that's a good idea. I think we hit the ATM at some point because we're all exchanging cash. We're like, I don't have more cash.
Yeah, I brought a bunch of cash, and then I was the guys were Venmoing me a little bit of cash because I had a bunch on me, so I was trading it out. And then all my cash was gone, so I went to the ATM, and my ATM cut me off.
Yeah. Your ATM was doing you a solid, like, bro, you don't need that. And you're like, yes, I do.
Away. I need that.
You don't tell me what I need.
Yeah.
Dude, that Vegas trip was especially hurtful. Like, every sports bet we did was like a sure thing. We're like, this is a sure thing, dude. And it would be like the complete opposite. It would be like, this team's going to win for sure. And then they get blown the fuck out. You're like, what?
It was so bad.
Like, made me question my football knowledge, which I pride myself on.
There's no such thing as a sure thing.
Fuck, at least keep it close.
If I was to say, for gambling, since we all say how much we bring, I bring $40 only because I know, and I don't even play table games, honestly. That's not my thing. I know the odds are in the favor of the house. It's just, it doesn't do it for me. But in terms of addiction, there is something, and I will share because, honestly, Stephen, it's really hard to confront that and put it out there. And I admire you for doing that, and thank you for sharing. And one for me that I didn't realize until a couple of years ago, actually since last year, is more subtle, and it's really common, and it annoys me. It's food. So, like, I'm addicted to, like, food. And
yeah,
it's a goddamn.
That's the
really
crazy.
thing.
I forgot about that because I do honestly think I'm also addicted to food because it, like, you know, eating for pleasure, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, not eating because you need to, but eating for pleasure and not being able to make better decisions when you're like, I know I need to make better decisions.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe you put on some weight and you're like, shit, I need to drop some weight. But like the next morning you wake up and you fucking stuff your face and you're like, I just told myself I didn't want to fucking do this because I want to lose some fucking weight. And here I am doing it. I have no fucking control. You know, the food's a big time addiction.
Yeah,
That's the
crazy.
scariest one because you need to eat.
Exactly.
So,
that's that fine line. And it's, I found that it's when I experience high anxiety that it's like, okay, I just need this to get through it. And there's other things.
Stress eating?
Stress eating. That's it. And it just becomes an addiction, and it's really annoying. So.
Yeah, that one's relevant to my life.
I had another question on that. Actually, Stephen kind of touched on that, but I was going to say, when you were younger, like, I was going to say, when you were younger, do you feel like you were addicted to video games? And I know Stephen talked about his Warcraft. How old or what grade were you in when the Warcraft addiction was going?
I think I was introduced to World of Warcraft, and it wasn't my first like major gaming experience, but World of Warcraft started around 16, 17,
okay.
I would say.
So my more pointed question was, before 16, 17, do you feel like you had a gaming addiction or anything like that?
I've always been, very.
But do you think it's been a unhealthy or it's an okay one? Do you feel like you kept it balanced?
I don't know, because at that age of like when you're a kid, I mean, like all you want to do is have fun, and like I would go out, we would skateboard, we'd ride bikes, whatever. But it was always like we always wanted to fucking play video games with our friends. So I don't know, like I mean, it just felt like that's what you did with friends. I don't know if that was addiction. Probably addicted.
When I look back, I feel like mine, I think, was borderline addiction. It was a lot of like I had friends come by like, hey man, why don't you come outside and let's play? And I'd be like, oh no, I'm actually playing video games right now. And looking back at it, I was like, I probably should have throttled that more. I think I lost a little bit of focus there. And what brought it to life is I went and picked up my oldest son, he's 5, from daycare, and he was playing with monster trucks, and all the other kids in his age group were on their iPad or playing a Wii. And he also went to a kid's birthday party where everyone was playing video games. And the one kid whose birthday was really good. And I was like, oh, he must play a lot. And I started thinking about it. I remember I was very addicted to video games when I was a kid. When should you start introducing your kids to video games? And if you do introduce them, should you throttle it back? You know, would you do less than you did as a kid?
Yeah. I don't know. You don't have that perspective when you're a kid, but yeah, I think you miss out on a lot. It's definitely something I'm going to help Madison with as she gets older. It's like you need balance, whether you like it or not. You need to go out and do different things.
Yeah.
You see what your kid's focused on, right? And you see that they're starting to get into certain things. Like Maddie's always like, well, can I do this and get a treat? Like she's very food oriented. So like I can already tell like, oh, like can I be a good girl and I get a treat, dessert, all these things. Like just focus on food, right? And then just focus on tablet and playing your little games. So trying to balance all that out as a parent.
You know, I was talking this over with my wife, and the realization we came to is I think we were roughly the first generation to have more mainstream video games, right? Like all of our video games started late NES, early Super Nintendo. I think that's kind of when it started, but then, you know, the Sega came online and Super Nintendo got going. Then you had the N64 that was really party oriented. And then from there, it's just video games have always been there. Like I'm even thinking some of our older relatives or definitely our parents, like they had Atari off and on. So no one really knew how to manage this phenomenon. And I think we're the first generation that got through it. So I think we need to figure out how we want to monitor it going forward.
Yeah.
Well,
and it cost quarters every time you went back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
difference is our parents dealt with us being like so into video games. Now we were into video games and now no, it's poor parents.
Well, the crazy thing is now that like with the tablets, like we didn't have shit like that when we were kids. You had to figure out ways to entertain yourself while you were there, whether it was a coloring book or, you know, reading a book or interacting with what's around you. You didn't have these portals into infinite entertainment on YouTube or the App Store with infinite entertainment. So it's very dangerous now.
It is. Like I said, I'm not fucking with mobile games no more. I don't care. I don't need it. I'll fucking play all the time. I don't know.
I think the tablet is turning my kids into being like instant gratification. Like I swear, when they want entertainment, like I'll put something on and my kids happen to like YouTube shows, like there's certain monster trucks and stuff, but he'll play one who'll be like, hey dad, hit the skip button for me. Hey dad, rewind that. Hey, pause that. Hey, it's not working. The little thing's spinning. And it's just so like instant, like, hey, come on, dad, I need this fixed right now. And I'm like, you know what? Back in your day, back in my day, you know, you'd have this thing called commercials. Like they were 5-10 minutes long and you had to put up with.
Oh my God, Maddie loves commercials because she doesn't get to see them. We don't have like regular cable TV, and then we put on like a football game or something on the TV, and commercials will come, and she's like glued to them.
Serious?
She's like, "What are these?
What is this?"
That's awesome.
Yeah, like and now it's Christmas, so what do you think's getting shown on commercials? It's like the toys and shit. She's like, "That's a toy. I can get that toy." I'm like, "You don't see toy commercials. I just realized that you don't see all the toy commercials and fast food commercials and shit that we grew up with. Like it was a weird perspective." But
That's crazy.
Go ahead, Angel.
No, I was gonna say the only game I was addicted to when I was a kid was Star Fox 64,
That was a good one.
and that's it. After that, I had to kick it because it was too much.
It's only like a 20-minute game, Angel.
It is, but you can always beat your score, okay, dude? And then when you play multiplayer, all right, you're in the same map, but it's like the controls were so crisp, dude. It was so good, and then all the lines were great. And then there were alternate hidden routes that you could take, right? You can go to the hidden planets and...
I like the asteroids.
yeah.
I know what you liked about Star Fox 64, Angel.
Oh, let's hear it.
You remember the Rumble Pack?
Shut up,
First game with the
That
Rumble Pack.
came bundled with the Rumble Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
baby.
that thing was, you put it on the ground, and it was...
That's accurate to how it sounded.
Oh, my God.
Ryan, what was the? Were you always like a ADD gamer, or what was the first game you remember like being really consumed with, or just like really into?
I was an ADD gamer originally because it's like when we were kids, you got one game because they were expensive as shit. Like if you see like the Toys R Us ads from back in the day, like video games were like
$60, it still
70,
was.
80. Some of them like were like over $100 for one.
I know.
And that money was like way more back then, right? Because of inflation and all that shit. So you only got like 2, maybe 3 a year if you're lucky. And then you can go rent them, right? But it was like you had what you had or you dealt with it. But I think I became ADD gamer once I had a PC and I discovered emulation. And you're like, whoa, I can download every Super Nintendo game ever made. Like, once you figure that out, it's just like, you're just bouncing everywhere.
Oh, what a gift the PC is.
Yeah, but I've always been like single player, go through that content, then move on to another one, versus just get really good at a multiplayer game and just focus on that. So I've always been like that ever since PC introduced me to emulation.
The I would say a small addiction that I've had is I put timers on my phone for TikTok and Reddit. And I realize it's because if I have random downtime, I'm like, well, let me just like scroll through this for entertainment. And I'm realizing I'm starting to scroll through it faster and faster because I'm like, nah, and I can't find any good content anymore. It's probably because I watched it all. But kind of Reddit has also kind of gone downhill also over the last year or two. But it was just every spare moment where I'd be working and I kept doing that thing where you glance at your phone and be like, oh, like you just let me look at some real quick. Wait, I should be working. Okay, let me put that back down. And so I started putting timers on there where I can I'll only watch it 15 minutes a day, and then it says, oh, you're over the limit, and I go, okay. And I've also had to delete it a few times, and then the Cowboys send me some more cool TikTok stuff, so I got to re-download and get it going again. But it's something that I got to monitor.
You know how you monitor the TikTok time?
How's
Chris?
that?
I got just the way.
You only watch it when you're pooping?
That's right. Wow.
Wise words have never been spoken.
So just know that when I send you a TikTok, I'm probably on the toilet.
Nice.
That's funny. No, yeah, it's I'm in complete denial, Chris. I know I have an addiction to social media and like YouTube and all that. I like reels and reels and reels. I'll scroll, but I'm in denial. I don't have a problem, but I know I have a problem. That to the point where it's like I feel like I've consumed a lot of the content that people send me stuff. I'm like, I've already seen it, but I'll be like, I like it or whatever. To the point where I've gone down a new rabbit hole in the rabbit hole, which is like really messed up reels and TikToks. It's like torture and homicides.
Getting progressively worse.
Getting crazy.
If you go on your TikTok and search a few subjects, like I was showing my daughter some like wiener dog videos this morning, and like now it's all I'm seeing today. So I just feel like if you go there, search a few things, if you want to clean up your feed, or if you want to make your feed something else. Bouncing boobs on beach.
Yes, there you go. I've kind of been that way too. I don't when I'm at work, I always have Pandora music on or just kind of something in the background. And I don't know if it's I can't handle quiet time, but it's like when I get home, I'm like, okay, I need to get the kids food ready. I give it to them. They start eating or negotiating that they don't want that, whatever. And I'll be like, okay, let me knock out some dishes. Let me take the trash out. So while I'm doing that, I would put my headphones in and I would put a YouTube video or a podcast or something and just be like, well, I might as well listen to something entertaining while I'm doing something dumb and tedious, right? The downside I'm realizing is my wife is realizing that she is talking to herself a lot, where she's like, hey, Chris, are you even listening? And I'll have to take the headphone. Oh, what? And she's like, I've been talking to you. I go, oh, well, nothing was happening. We weren't having a conversation. I got some spare moments right now. Let me do this. And I'm realizing it is slowly starting to backfire, where I think that resentment with her is getting built up, where if I want to do something nice for her, it's like putting my headphones away for an evening or something.
I've noticed a very happy turn since I put down the game with just home life, because I'm just like not buried in my phone anymore. I'm just doing things that I wasn't doing before.
Nice. I'm glad you escaped the game, Steven.
Me too.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back.
Proud of you.
Gravitational pulls heavy.
Yeah, don't get into Hearthstone. It's really good. Don't do it.
I know.
You're such a Blizzard cuck, Angel.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, okay?
Hots?
Team Microsoft.
It's all right.
Hots? What's Hots?
Yeah. Heroes of the Storm?
I used to, and then I realized it was StarCraft, but like the different style. I'm like, I never really liked StarCraft. I felt like it was too much to manage, and I'm like, I don't know. My brain isn't that big, so I just gave up on it.
Gotcha.
But your cock.
Yeah. Also, never mind. There's a new mobile game that you should not download. It's called Rumble by Blizzard.
He's such a fucking Blizzard cuck.
Whatever, dude.
Is that still a good company now, or is that company going downhill?
You know,
Everyone hates
I
them.
mean, Microsoft bought them, so it's going downhill.
Oh, but it's
going
I mean,
uphill.
the ship
Microsoft
was
is like
sinking.
healthy.
Are they? I mean, they just released the lowest rated Call of Duty ever.
Does that mean that they're
Coincidence?
financially
I
healthy
think
or
not.
not?
No,
Is it lowest rated but still like most played?
I don't think it is because they haven't actually released numbers about it hitting record numbers. So I don't think it is like actually doing that well.
you know,
Every once in a while, I'll get like a freaking notification or video of like Diablo 4 about like them releasing some new content. It's like nobody gives a fuck. That game's trash. Nobody cares.
yeah. See,
Like I don't think that anybody plays it.
I'm not sure if it's. I don't know if you could blame that on Microsoft just producing a bad game. This is my thought on the Call of Duty thing. It was a glorious cow. They milked it. They made lots of money. They said, let's milk it some more. They milked that thing dry, and then they tried to over milk it, and they're realizing it's just not happening there. Now, the exception is Grand Theft Auto. Those guys know the formula to make it work, but everyone else, you're going to hit the roadblock.
But Grand Theft Auto doesn't actually milk it. They haven't released a new Grand Theft Auto since Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on PS3.
Yeah, but they spend so much time developing technology and a game.
Yeah.
And they released a fucking good product. They haven't failed us yet.
It's such a big jump,
So-
right? The Call of Duty, like, I'm not quite sure if there's big gaps happening or big jumps.
That's just a once a year kind of deal.
And once they
Just release a new
annualized it, that
frickin-
was the end of it having like any kind of like creative merit or actually giving you
It's like
quality.
Madden 25, Madden 26. It's like
Eh.
the football game doesn't change very much.
Hey, Ryan, what are your thoughts on the future of gaming switching over to, instead of buying a game, it's you pay by the hour?
What?
That's terrible.
By the hour?
There's
What?
games are starting to talk about that, dude. Grand Theft Auto was thinking about that. Grand Theft Auto 6, they're saying, hey, just get a subscription, pay by the minute.
Oh, yeah, because they're saying that the value per hour that you're getting is lopsided, essentially.
Yep, my stuff's too good for you to buy
I mean,
it once.
they should do like a monthly subscription if that's where they want to go with like having it actually be like an online thing like World of Warcraft, which is where they're going. But they're making buku bucks on that thing anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I would be interested if I was like, oh, I don't know if I really like that game, and you pay by the hour until you realize, oh, I like this game. Then maybe you can buy like a more value like monthly pass.
But I mean, it's an art form ultimately, so having it be something where there's like constant microtransactions or constantly pumping out content for you to buy on a daily basis isn't conducive to actually putting out a quality product, because that's not how like people who
Yeah.
make art work. So the minute it gets to that, it's over. Like they just have to have set budgets and be like, okay, if we sell this many copies at $60 a pop and that's a success, that's the only way for it to actually have merit. Like all the subscription models are like Game Pass is going to destroy the industry.
Yeah, that's the
'Cause they have the
downside.
seasons. And
Like it's great right now because it's like, oh, they're getting a shit ton of shit for very cheap, but ultimately the products are going to degrade very quickly.
I feel like the Game Pass should only be for games that maybe have been on the shelf for a few years, so people can just play those games with like, why go out and spend $60 for like Oblivion or whatever you
Yeah.
want to play. But you can play all those games, old Halo games, old, I'm playing like the old classic Doom games right now, just playing through them as an adult, and it's fun. I don't have to pay anything for it. I don't think you need to release brand new games on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I feel like that would ruin the industry because
That's how the Sony version works. Like they don't have a lot of stuff coming out the day a game releases, but most of it's stuff that's been out for about a year or so, and like people aren't buying copies anymore. But Microsoft's thing, like if we made it, it's going to be their day one, and like all their games are coming out and just being disappointments. Like the Redfall game was trash. Starfield was okay, but didn't light anything on fire. Like it doesn't work.
didn't capture my attention.
Yeah, I get the impression it's more important on when you can get the game out, not how well the game is made.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
Cyberpunk's great
fantastic
now.
example.
Cyberpunk is probably really good now, but they missed their window of opportunity
For Steven's
to make an
checkbook.
impact. I played the whole game when it was fucking shit. I liked it when it was shit, but I also knew it was shit. But
very good. When you said Madden, oh my god, it reminded me. I hate sport video games because it's like I don't want to invest all the time in learning all the cool tricks. except for one. It was on the PlayStation 2. Have you guys ever played NFL Street?
Yeah,
No.
that was a good one.
It is the best. Oh my god, it was so
Yeah.
simple, and they were like huge.
Better than Blitz.
Blitz. I don't remember Blitz. But
Nah,
NFL
Blitz-
Street was
Better
the
than-
shit.
Would you consider Tony Hawk Pro Skaters
I
a
like-
sport
I
video
like
game?
that one.
Because you're talking about
Here I am.
like NBA Jam.
Yeah,
I think NBA Jam was pretty dope.
like Street was, I think it was like five players on your team, 5 or 6 players. You got to a point where you could like run on the walls. It was trying to break down from like a big 11-man football team to just like a few kids in a park. But it was a good game.
Yeah, it hit the simplicity for me. That was a good game. Anyway, how we doing, Steven?
This has just been open discourse for a long time.
10-4.
We can move on. I guess it's way past.
What can I say, Steven? We're addicted to your segment.
Yeah.
That's all Steven's got to say about that.
All right, 10-4.
That's all I gotta say about
I
that,
think-
Joe
I think that's
Brownies.
all we have time for on this episode. Thank you so much, listeners, for hanging in there. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, and rate us. Boys, is there anything else you want to say?
Yes,
Well, let's hear it, Ryan.
I'm very excited for our dear listener to put Angel in his fucking Fortnite place.
Yes.
Oh, the OnlyFans person.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, next up, Steven.
Oh yeah, just I'm excited for Pastrami Tay.
Ooh, pastrami. That video is going to come out. It's going to be so good, dude. Very cool.
Yeah, it's not going to do well for my blood pressure, but it's going to be delicious.
Mine either. Thank you so much, Chris. Any last words?
Good night. Good night, CoinOp-ians. You know, the Cowboys and us, we took some recent stock of where we started and where we're at now, and it's all thanks to you guys. You know, I recently found out that we have listeners in South Dakota. Hoorah! Good work out there, guys. But it's all because you guys enjoy our content, and we're just glad to put it out there for you guys and make it fun. So, thanks to you.
Fuck that, I'm there for the money, baby.
I'm there for the pussy.
Now, with that, we're out.